when men get hooked on porn and women get hooked on porn, what are the differences? Why is it that women get hooked on porn, and how is that different to how men get hooked on porn, do you think?
I think you've already pointed out erotic literature
Yeah.
can be a huge gateway for women. That's yeah, one of them. That's more of a unique thing. I think it's for the same reason women do get hooked to visual pornography. Um, I found another study when I was researching for writing a book that these two psychologists studied uh, men and women, just kind of what caused their arousal in regards to visual pornography. Obviously, these studies are kind of heartbreaking because you have to put people through watching pornography in order to study them. So I don't know if I agree with the ethics of it, but I think the results were interesting because it said men attributed their arousal to the attractiveness of the people in the video, right? So men or women. Women attributed their arousal to their ability to imagine themselves as the woman in the video. So there's an extra removed step there, then that's why I think erotic literature or pornographic literature can come in as a gateway too, is why we get hooked is deeply tied to our imagination. It's deeply tied to fantasy. That's why we have a high demographic of women struggling with sexual fantasy. That can be one of the hardest parts to let go of. And not that men don't as well. That can absolutely be a part of it. But I think that that's almost like a necessity in female sexual addiction is this involvement of the imagination. So they reported just that if a video was not allowing them to kind of step into a role, then it was not arousing. But I think I think literature provides a huge gateway because it almost always allows you to imagine the scene. And then videos, I think, can also do that as well. And so that kind of debunks, honestly, like the men are visual, women are emotional kind of argument. And that's why men are hooked on porn is both men and women are visual. Just what the visuals do for them is very different. Or what their tie is to the visual is very different. For men, it's a little more direct. And for women, there's one step removed, but it's still there. So that's one of the biggest differences I've seen is this involvement of the imagination, the involvement of fantasy. And I think another one that is different is women can be attracted to more romantic content. So they when I've talked to the women I work with, it's oftentimes rom-coms can be a gateway as well into pornography. It was for me because you enjoy the romantic interaction part of it. So the emotional also doesn't go away. You want scenes that involve a lot of interaction between two people, no matter what that interaction looks like. That's where violence can find a door, humiliation can find a door. You still want some level of interaction, and I think that can differ from men because I think the content that men can take in is a little more broad, but women do specifically want that human interaction because we're relationally driven. That's something that should be praised, but it's something that easily gets distorted in the pornographic world. So those are two of the big differences I've seen.